Chase Briscoe wins, making it 4 drivers in 4 races, and they're all under the age of 30. All that and more coming up next. What's going on, everybody? If I haven't earned your subscription, I'm hoping today is the day that I will earn that subscription. Also, to celebrate going over 4,000 subscribers, I will be doing a Q&A. So if you've got a question to add to that Q&A later on in the week or maybe next Monday, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section. All right, Chase Briscoe takes it to the house. His pit crew got him out there. They got him track position, and from there he took over because that car was on a rail once it got that clean air. Ross Chastain put up a valiant effort, and Tyler Reddick also put up a valiant effort, and before the caution came out, Chase Elliott was giving him a run for his money as well. But at the end of the day, Chase Briscoe goes through there and knocks it out of the park. What an absolutely great run for him. Gets his first NASCAR victory, and all the people that were doubting Tony Stewart for giving this guy a chance, well, now they're seeing why Tony Stewart gave this guy a chance. And I guess I should say Gene Haas, too. Now they see why Stewart Haas, they always act like Tony Stewart's the only guy that runs his team. It's Stewart Haas. So now you're seeing why they gave Chase Briscoe a chance. Obviously, 9 wins in 1 season in the Xfinity Series. This guy is an absolute, his talent could possibly just be through the roof. So this might be the first win of many. But also, it puts to rest these Stewart Haas is dead rumors. Stewart Haas is still very much in the ballgame. No, they are not part of the Penske Alliance, where all those Penske teams seem to be getting a little bit different and better equipment from Ford. RFK, of course, in that alliance. Stewart Haas sort of on their own, doing their own thing, and today they proved that that might not be such a bad thing with this new car because they were lights out. That 41 or 14 car was absolutely on a rail, and Kevin Harvick was up there as well. So Stewart Haas, very strong today. As good as Stewart Haas looked, Toyota is in trouble. They looked good in Vegas, but other than that, they have not looked competitive in any of the Cup races so far this year. In fact, if you look at it, Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell, and you combine their points totals of 54 and 62, combine their totals, and they would still only be good enough for 8th place in the points right now. So, and that would even be a tie. So, Toyota is off to a bad start, and 2 of their perennial, like Christopher Bell had a great season last year. His sophomore season was very strong. He built on his rookie season very well. He got that 1 win. He made the playoffs. He did well in the playoffs, so and he ran very consistent. And Denny Hamlin has been a staple for Toyota. He has run well every year. I said at the beginning of the season, either Martin Truex or Denny Hamlin will have an off year. I missed it. I said Truex will have the off year. It's looking like right now, 1/10 of the way through the season, that Hamlin is going to be that guy having that off year. But not only that, but 23XI has struggled to show speed. Now, Kurt Busch got a 5th place finish here, and that was good, but it seemed very tactical because I have yet to see a race where 23XI just had flat out raw speed where they look like they could go out there and, you know, lead some laps and possibly threaten to win a race. So I've yet to see that from them. And Joe Gibbs Racing overall is down, and I think this is, like I said in the preview to the season, this is because Toyota has never worked with a car like this, basically a supercar. So I think Toyota is down and Toyota is struggling, but I think maybe midway through the season you could see this change, but right now, as it stands, Toyota is definitely in trouble. Now, another team that is on the up, Toyota struggling, but RCR and Trackhouse are not struggling. Trackhouse has, except for the Daytona 500, they have finished in the top 10 every single race so far this season. Ross Chastain, the last couple of races, nothing but top 5s. And Daniel Suarez finished top 10 in this race. So this team is really coming together and looking good. And also RCR is looking good. Austin Dillon would have had a top 10 if he hadn't been swiped by the aforementioned Daniel Suarez. And obviously Tyler Reddick has looked good in several races. Doesn't necessarily have the finishes to show for it, but he has led laps and dominated in several races. So RCR is also on the up and come. So Trackhouse and RCR are off to a very good start. And young guys here. And speaking of young guys, let's look at the winners so far this Cup season. So far through 4 Cup races this year, we have had 4 different winners, and all 4 of those different winners have been under the age of 30. So is this new car sort of benefiting the younger drivers, or are the older drivers just sort of laying back and checking out, seeing what this car does? Are they just sort of laying back and taking their time to see what this new car does? And are these young guys just getting these wins earlier because they're pushing the absolute limits? I think the older guys are sort of just trying to save equipment because they know in this the times we're in right now, it's hard to get parts and pieces. I think the older guys are just being more conservative with their equipment and trying to save stuff. So I think it's just two different ways of looking at it. But right now, as it stands, the younger guys seem to be adapting to this car a lot better than the older guys. In particular, Ross Chastain and Tyler Reddick are absolutely lighting it up. I mentioned them earlier. I don't want to get into it too much further than that. But let's look real quick at the good and the bad from this race. The good, obviously, Chase Briscoe and Stewart Haas Racing. No need to go into that because I've already mentioned it. But also the good, you've got to look at, Trackhouse and Ross Chastain. Also touched on them earlier as well. But beyond that, you got to look at Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch snuck in here and got a top 5, and that was unheard of. He didn't really have a great car today, but he made the most of it. And Chris Buescher from the Roush Fenway Keselowski group, he got a top 10, so that is a good solid finish. That group needed a good solid finish. Brad Keselowski struggled today, but his teammate Chris Buescher, he did not. He had a great run, so good run for him. Now on to the bad. The bad, obviously, Kyle Larson, and actually all of Hendrick. Kyle Larson blows an engine. William Byron was leading. He won the first stage, led a bunch of laps, but then he faded and disappeared. In fact, no Hendrick car finished in the top 10. Chase Elliott had a good run going, but unfortunately he spun out. And cost himself a top 10. He ended up, I think, finishing 11. But no Hendrick cars in the top 10. So that's a very rare that you see that happen. So bad for Hendrick. Also bad for Austin Dillon. He got taken out by, of course, Daniel Suarez. He had a top 10 going. That would have been a big finish for him. But he ran good, but just didn't get the finish he wanted. And also bad, and I hate to say this, but bad for Erik Jones. Second week in a row, he spins out near the end of the race and costs himself a decent finish. Last week, he cost himself a top 10. This week, he cost himself a good top 15 to top 17. He was struggling, but he was going to make the most of it. But instead of that, he fell way back and finished somewhere around 25th. So definitely cost himself at least 10 positions with that spin. All right, guys, that is all I've got for you today. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe down below. And if you got a comment, leave it down in the comment section. If you got a question, leave it down for the Q&A. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.